I want to talk about the piece Kevin Love put on the Players Tribune, where he gets very honest about his battle with anxiety and panic attacks. He said his first panic attack was this past November during a game against Atlanta. He needed to check himself out, go back to the locker room. He was later escorted to the hospital. Here's an excerpt of what he wrote. Quote, "I was running from room to room like I was looking for something I couldn't find. Really, I was just hoping my heart would stop racing. It was like my body was trying to say to me, you're about to die. I ended up on the floor in the training room, lying on my back, trying to get enough air to breathe." Now, after Love's piece dropped, we got additional reporting. Filling in the blank, it was indeed a panic attack that Love suffered again when that game against the Thunder in January, remember, that caused so much consternation within the team and the subsequent team meeting and players questioning where he was or what happened to him. Scotty, what's your reaction to Kevin deciding to go public with all of this? Because in private circles around the team, this was pretty well known, but it was just sort of like, okay, we'll let Kevin come forward with this in its own time.
Yeah, well, I think he said it best when he said DeMarcus DeRozan kind of opened up the doors for him to, explain and sort of put his issue out there. So I think a lot of times we sit back and we try to evaluate things and issues going on with these teams, and we don't really know the real truth. And this is one of those situations where, Kevin has kind of been on the outside looking in a little bit, because we've been a little bit worried what's going to happen when he get back into the lineup after he had the break of the finger. So I'm just happy for him that, he's able to open up and express himself, and hopefully, he does continue to get help, and, he's able to suppress this anxiety problem.
Yeah, the positive, obviously, about both these guys is it's not just for other athletes in the NBA, it's for everybody.
Right.
This is something that affects a lot of people all over the country, all over the world, and it is a taboo in many societies, many cultures. It's taboo to talk about, I'm not feeling well on the inside, or something that's not tangible, like a broken hand or something, or a sprained ankle. And so by talking about it, being open about it, that even a multimillionaire athlete who technically you're doing something you love, why should you
has everything, right?
That doesn't matter. None of those things matter. This is a disease that afflicts and does not care and does not discriminate when it comes to that.
I know our Jackie McMullen is working on a piece about sort of the way teams are set up to deal with this, and frankly, in a lot of ways, they're not. I mean, you've got trainers for everything, Scotty, but there's not really a regular system in the NBA right now to address the fact that players have mental health too, and it is a very demanding job, and there are factors, just human factors, that come into this. So I'm curious to see if DeMar DeRozan coming out and talking about depression earlier this year, Kevin Love talking about his panic attacks, if that starts to influence and make the NBA feel like, you know what, we got to set up more for our players here.
I also want to point out Ron Artest, what he did, was it now 9 years ago?
Yes.
He auctioned off his championship ring and donated it to mental health.
And it's been consistent ever since.
I think that was the first guy to kind of open the door and be very honest and frank about it. He shouted out his therapist right after they won the championship.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So I think we'll see a lot more of this, and we should continue to talk about this.